So with our lovely Mr. Z, we're going to practice again a little bit with some recall practice. So what I'd like to warm up with first, Oren, is we're going to do some recalls from Find It's. Okay, so let me show you first. So we're going to send Mr. Z off to go get a snack, and then from there we're going to go, Zeus, come, and we're going to feed Mr. Z for coming to us, okay? So go ahead and show Mr. Z a little snack and have him do a Find It. There we go. He's got it. And then from there, go ahead and call him. Nice, and feed him for that. So even if, let's say, for example, your little one doesn't get the chance to say the recall word, not a big deal. He could also be, it's a little bit of a hungry hippo. He could also just simply work a little bit with name recognition. So remember how we can also sometimes call our puppies from the environment with a lovely name recognition versus a recall and versus our little positive interrupter, which might be the kissy noise. So again, ready? Zeus, Find It. So get him up and wiggling. I'm going to call him this time, Oren, okay? So Zeus, come. Yes, nice job. Zeus is also a little bit winded because he was playing with the flirt pole earlier, and then before our filming session, he was also wrestling with his buddies, so he's a little bit tired in a good way. So go ahead, Oren, toss a snack for him. There you go. Nice, and then go ahead and call him. Nice, and feed him for that. Beautiful. As you call him, next time see if you can say the C word, so come. So he learns that it means to come when called. So I'm going to toss another little snack away. He's like, where's it going, lady? We're going to toss it that way. So then we'll go again, and my turn. So Zeus, come. Oh my gosh, chewing. There we go. Hawk it up and get it out of your, there we go. What a big boy. Good job. And then we can eat it while we're standing still versus running. So go ahead and get Mr. Z. Show him the Find It. Nice. He says, I did not see where that one went. They're hidden. Sometimes the darker snacks blend with my lovely darker floor. Nice. So see if you can call him. Nice. Feed him for that. Very pretty. So remember, the recalls don't have to consist of your puppy sitting or doing a down. I would recommend in the beginning to make it where it's easy. So if your puppy is not always sure what you're doing, feed for when they come to you, and then you could ask for a secondary skill, which could be a sit or a down as they approach. So Oren, we're going to practice a little bit where we do a little bit of almost like he's the ping pong ball between the two paddles. So I'm going to go to maybe about here. Maybe you go over by where the end of the leashes are a little bit. That's probably good right there. I'm going to go, Zeus, come. What a good boy. Yes, nice job. And then go ahead, Oren, your turn. Beautiful. Feed him for that. Splendid. If again, too, he's a bit slimy and you want to feed the floor, as he's coming to you, Zeus, come. Ready? So if, let's say, beautiful, and you can also feed right in front of you. So that way he's just stopping and he's not sliming you. Nice. Go ahead and feed the ground. Beautiful. Not the end of the world. So Zeus, come. Yes, what a good boy. If, let's say, he's getting quite good at this game, you could also do this through different parts of your home front. You could be doing this outside. If, for example, you're doing this outside, make sure it's a safe fenced-in zone. If you don't have a fenced-in zone, I highly recommend letting him have a long line to drag as he's bouncing back and forth. So Zeus, come. Yes, what a good boy. If, let's say, your puppy didn't come when called, nice. Make sure that he doesn't know you plop them on the floor, or just show it to him. You might have to point. He's not as good of a hound dog. Oh, okay, I'll be right there, Eben, 1 second. So as your puppies are practicing, if, let's say, for example, they can do several great recalls, maybe they do a good 15 or so, sometimes 20. Don't always make it that many, as we've mentioned in the past. Zeus, come. Because if we make recalls into almost like boot camp where he keeps going until he's both physically and mentally exhausted, he might start to think that recalls are kind of a lot of work and maybe not as much fun. Remember, we also don't want to make the recall the end of fun. So if you tend to call your puppy into the house or away, oh, good. Sorry, my little one was saying there was something happening with one of her things. So Zeusy. So let's say, for example, I called him, nothing happened. I'm going to get a little closer. Zeus, come. And then I'm going to bring him back to maybe where I would have originally called him. But remember that if you do tend to pair recalls with something negative, or you've turned a recall into a negative thing, like let's say, for example, your dog is scared of tubby time, you call them to you and you then bring them into the bathroom, that will start to create maybe recalls as being uncertain of could it be paired with tub or will it be safe? So remember, your pups, even though tubbies are not going to be life-threatening, from your puppy's perspective, if they don't have a good association with certain husbandry or certain grooming practices, definitely check out, I know the cooperative care I was mentioning earlier. But remember that if something is overwhelming and you start to pair it with a recall, you're probably going to start to taint or almost poison your recall cue. And you want to think about recalls as something that's really beneficial for safety reasons. So make sure, even if your puppy's done the silliest thing ever, like they ran away and they came back again, you can't get upset. Because then they're going to think that coming to you at times is unsafe, so they don't always know when it will be safe or not safe to do so. So they might start to skip doing recalls to you all in all. So again, Zeus, come. Yes, nice job. If let's say your puppy tends to, let's say, visit you but then go away, I sometimes also like to pair sometimes the recall with some affection if they do enjoy it. Or he's like, oh, that's a nice neck massage. Or you can go ahead and also pair a recall with a couple little moments of some sits or some downs if they prefer to work a couple little skills that maybe help them slow down both mentally and physically. Then we could rock it. Hold on one second, Oren. We could rock a lovely down. And then, Oren, now you can go ahead and call him. We're holding feet. Nice. Good job. It was beautiful. So make sure, too, you're not going too far out of the camera range, Oren. So I don't know if they can see you. There you go. More about like where the fence, the leashes are. Nice. So with Mr. Z, obviously you can see that you can do recalls from the environment. So send him away and then call him away from that. So Zeus, come. You can also do recalls from another family member or a friend or whoever's available to try it with you. Make sure, though, if you have littles helping, that one at a time call. If everybody's calling the puppy at once, of course, he can't be in multiple places in one moment. So definitely make sure that they're taking their turns and letting the puppy figure it out as well. If your puppy, though, hears the recall and doesn't respond, don't say it over and over where the meaning behind the word is going to get lost. So let's say, for example, I called his name, I said the C word, he didn't respond. You'll see that I went about half the distance to get him and then retrieve him from there with that second recall. If there was no response from the second recall, I'd want to go and help him because maybe the environment is too stimulating or maybe he doesn't understand what I'm asking. So if I lose him to the environment or to a huge distraction or he forgot what he was rocking, Mr. Z might be getting a little tired. You can always come and feed him a little bit for hanging out too, Oren. He might want to take a little breather. But make sure that, again, if you're finding recalls are not going in the right direction, so go ahead and feed him a couple snacks for hanging out with you. Because if, let's say, recalls start to equal ignore you while you're screaming in the distance or playing keep away, remember that whatever your puppy's practicing, they're going to get good at. So if he's a little bit unsure as to what the end game is, you're going to have to either reinforce him for it. I know he's a little bit bitey because he's a little bit tired. So I know a lot of times we want to go and love the puppies. But a lot of times if your puppy is actually going and trying to mouth you, that's them probably saying, I'm not really interested or I can't handle that right now, so don't touch. So I know a lot of us really want to share the loves with the beauties, but at times it might be something you have to practice together, but when the puppy is in a better moment. So if let's say your puppy's already been out for a while, doing several skills, and now they're getting to the point where they need their nap, I find that that's not the greatest time to try to do touching and practice of handling, because when they're overtired, the bitey end starts to kind of take over and the brain starts to fall out. So this is really pretty where he's kind of hanging out with him right now, and he's doing just some nice little find its, but he's really tired. What a good job. Very pretty. So we'll give Mr. Z a little breather, but I think he's doing a really nice job with Oren with these lovely find its and the recall. So obviously, maintain some of this practice within the home. Also work it in the yard. If you're going to ever try a new environment, I know we've touched base on this in class. Allow the puppy to go do a nice big sniffy walk around the bubble in which you're going to practice. And then go ahead and after they've explored for, let's say, 5, 10, 20 minutes in that bubble, that's going to be the same bubble you're going to practice your recalls in with a long line. So that way, as your puppy's already gotten the chance to explore the bubble and get to know it, then they can, again, feel more comfortable in that novel space and feel that they already understand the bubble in which they're going to work in, and then try working with that focus or attention on you. He did a very nice job. We'll give Mr. Z a little breather, but this was lovely. Good job, guys.